Hi, my name is Andres Biondi. I'm a senior here at ENC, and today I'm going to explain you about my research project, which is titled The Understanding of the Electric Effects that Rocks Goes Under Pressure. Specifically, this research is done to try to come up with a way to forecast earthquakes. And the way how this experiment works is the following. So I have a piece of granite, like you can see here at the press. And what I do, I connect a power supply to create a voltage base or a current base, which eventually I will try to compress this rock, and I will see the deviation of the current between the baseline and my actual data, what my actual data is. So eventually, once all the setup is running, all the data is taken into the computer using a LabVIEW program, and that computer will save the data of the currents that is generated by the rock and the voltage that's been applied to it. So here in the computer is we have the LabVIEW program, which is the front panel. So we have the write buffer, which is where you log in your code and you make the connection happen between the computer and the machine. Then you have the write buffer over here, which will read you and show you the data or the current that's generated by the rock. And eventually here you have the file path, that it's where you actually select the file where you want to save it. And over here is two type of voltage. All right. So now I will actually click run the program. So as you can see, the values start changing over here, and those are the values that's being generated from the applied voltage going through the rock. And over here you can see how the picometer is actually getting all the data. So eventually, once I start compressing the rock, these values will change and deviate from the baseline, and that's actually the data that I take and I try to analyze. Now that we have everything running, the next step will be actually compress the rock. As you can see here, this is a pressure gauge which will tell us to how much pressure we actually put into the rock. Today I will try to go up to 3 to 4 tons, and then we will see if the change that you will obtain from the pressure of the rock. Okay, so this is kind of like a little bit of workout in here. Let me see here. Eventually, once you save all the data, it's going to show up here in Express sheet file. So you can see from C all the way down to K is actually the current that's being taken by the picometer, and then you see column L and M is actually the voltage that's being obtained by the MyDAC. So once I plug everything into MATLAB will actually give me these figures that I have right here. So you can see the bottom is what the current voltage baseline is. So once I compress the rock, you see this small jump over here, which will tell me that there is a difference between the original current and the current that's happening right now. Once I release that pressure from the rock, eventually the current of the rock will come back to the baseline, which can tell me and which gives us an idea that there is something happens when the rocks are actually compressed. And if this is correct, or if what we predicted is what we think it is, eventually we can use this to be able to analyze and to actually forecast earthquake by using other type of prediction and measurements that my other colleagues will explain you later.